What is going on, EDC people, and what's our journey today? Got a little something interesting here. So, as you all may or may not know, I'm part of the Apex Pass Around group, which has allowed me the fortunate capability to bring knives to this channel that I normally wouldn't be able to, based on finances, or probably just wouldn't have hit my radar otherwise without having the opportunity to just say, hey, I'd like to take a look. And this is one of those. Here's something interesting about this one, though. Usually, I'm pretty well aware of the things that I sign up for. And even if I'm not, those things come in with packaging that are pretty well, if you order, not order, but want to take a look at a Civivi or a Finch or a Spyderco, typically it comes in that box, has a lot of identification. This particular one, I actually lost track of signing up for because it had been a while. So I'd seen the picture of it, seen the advertisements and the specifications for it originally a while ago. I was interested. Obviously said, "Hey, I'm in," and I never paid. I lost track of that. Time jumps by, and in comes the mail, a knife. A knife that doesn't have any packaging. I'm not too familiar with what it is. And I'm embarrassed to say that while I know it must be something that I'm interested in or caught my eye for some reason, I'm not familiar with the marking. I'm not seeing anything of any familiar markings on there. So I'm going on my gut instinct. My gut instinct says I probably didn't sign up to take a look at a CRKT or a Gerber. So I have a funny feeling this is a knife that maybe is towards the higher end. It's not a Civivi. Oftentimes I like to take a look at those because that's kind of your everyman's knife. But something struck me more about this. So I decided, instead of trying to research this knife and give you kind of a first impressions in that sense, I was going to do this a little bit differently, and frankly, maybe a little bit ass backwards. I'm going to tell you what I think about this knife before I have a clue what it is. And so here we go. Right off the bat, I know that I'm dealing with a knife that's certainly not going to be junk. I wouldn't have signed up for it. Chances are it wouldn't be in the pass around group, period. So I have that in the back of my head. Right off, I'm taking a look at the carbon fiber. I'm noticing that the carbon fiber has no voids that I can notice whatsoever. That it's premium carbon fiber, at least how I qualify premium carbon fiber compared to things that I've seen, or other carbon fibers I've seen. It is contoured with beautiful transitions on the back spacer. You can see quite clearly the finger grooves in it and how broken down the edges are for comfort, chamfered, contoured, whatever the wording is you want to say. Everything is nicely broken down. Even the clip, where normally it ramps right up, look how nicely it ramps up, but yet it's broken down, so there is no sharp edge there, but it gets right over that pocket. I'm also looking at things like the attention to detail here. There's no visible mushroom cap on the screw. They're all inset. It's a tip-up carry. I would bet it's titanium just by the look of it. And I can see that it's nicely made, well thought out deep carry pocket clip. So I can see that the back space is also carbon fiber, and I'm looking at the cross hatching and I'm noticing that it's pure carbon fiber through and through. So I'm having a good idea that this knife is in a good is in a solid build. I have no idea a company or country of origin. So let's say I have to assume it's going to have a basic super steel S30V, S35V, and probably M390, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't go any. I'm thinking this is no budget steel. And I just, for some reason, Monterey Bay Knives, it just has that feel to me. I could be way off. So that's interesting, isn't it? Comes in at about 7.3 inches overall. It's clearly a front flipper. It's probably one of the most interesting front flippers I've ever dealt with, in the sense that it's very easy to activate using your thumb. It's very easy to do the little reach around with your index finger once you find the appropriate position, which is hard to do under a camera. But, okay, now I'm going to just really frustrate myself until I do it. Okay, we're going to just pretend I didn't do that. Great, it's a great front flipper. It really does work well. I'm actually not too familiar with front flippers. I've played around with a couple different models, but this one by far has the best detent I've seen. Also on the retraction, look at the blade come out, but the retraction, that detent sucks it right back in. Take a look at this. You can see it's liner lock. Again, based on what I am kind of going with on this knife, the titanium pocket clip. I do apologize about the dust. I probably could have wiped it down before I threw it on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and say those are titanium liners as well. And I'm going to put an MSRP on here in the 200s. I would be surprised if this was under $200 in any way, shape, or form. Where in that range, I'm not too sure. That really depends on origin, maker, and so on and so forth. I think it's a cool looking knife. I'm not sure that the price will warrant my interest, but you know, if this is something that, how do I say this? This is a nice knife, and if I were looking for a knife, and this sparked my interest, hey, that's cool, but I have a lot of knives at this point in this price range, and this one just doesn't stick out to me in that sense. That's not to say it shouldn't to anyone else. That's all personal choice. Here it is compared to the Miura PM2, as well as the Benchmade 940. So you can see it is slightly smaller in almost all aspects, a little closer to the 940 in overall size, but you know, the PM2 is kind of girthy in all senses. So guys, I have now got to switch over and see how embarrassed I have to be. This knife is the GARETH Bull Miura. Is it pronounced Miura? The GARETH Bull Miura front flipper in carbon fiber, and from what I can see, it's looking like an MSRP of $299.99. Looks like it's made in cooperation with Drop. So I know this was kind of a strange first impressions and very different than you normally would expect. I'm going to go ahead and throw the actual statistics, or not statistics, but specifications of the GARETH Bull on the screen so that you can see the real information now. It's a really cool knife, guys. It's very lightweight. Well, we're talking about weight, I might as well just tell you the facts, huh? Let's see here. We are in grams. 75.12. It's very lightweight. Ounces, 2.65. So you're looking at what I would consider a very lightweight knife. The front flipper, you know, if I were looking at this online, that would concern me. I'm not used to front flippers enough to invest that kind of money in it. Having used it, I like it. It works well. It's a very comfortable in all aspects. It's got a compound ground blade, which is lovely for EDC. Nice and thin behind the edge. Some swedge work on top. Yeah, you know, it reminds me of a very sleek steak knife in a way, but boy, it really something about it, and all that black with that carbon fiber really does kind of make it look sharp, doesn't it? I've touched a lot of different knives now, ranging in price, you know, in the $200 to $300 price range. I felt knives that were tanks, that felt heavy, looked heavy, were heavy, and then that were the opposite, that were extreme lightweight, you know, made with precision and maybe almost elegance. And I have to say, maybe this is more on the gent side of things than hard use, but I would say that in terms of everyday carry, it's an absolute slam dunk. You can't go wrong with it. It would have to speak to you to spend that kind of money. I believe it turns out it is S35VN, which is a fine blade steel, tried and true. However, you know, S35VN and carbon fiber front flipper, liner lock, titanium. Yes, made nice, $300. We'll see where things land. What do you guys think about this knife? Am I underwhelmed with it? Is there something I'm missing? I'm not saying it's a bad knife. Anyways, just a strange, different type of first impressions. Thought it'd be cool for you guys to see what I thought of a knife before I really knew anything about it. And embarrassingly enough, it's an important knife that I should have known. This is on its way to Lefty EDC next, I believe. And why don't I give you a sneak peek of what else I'm recording. I know I told you guys I'm coming back and I'm doing it slowly. It takes a while to build up some content, at least for me, because, well, I'm slightly special, but look at this, guys. Got another Finch. You know, you can't stay away from Finch. The cherry bomb. I've got to learn to wipe knives off before I put them on video, huh? I got the cherry bomb. Had to get the red bone just because it's the cherry bomb. It's the Finch 154 CM. We all know and love. And I'm really putting this one to the test, guys, because, well, I'll tell you about that later. This particular one has been different than the other Finch models, and when I talk about that in the video, you'll know what I mean. That's a sneak peek at what's next. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too much of a letdown that I didn't know what knife that was until the last minute. Thought it would be entertaining for you to get my reactions this way, though, for once. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Have a great weekend.